Hey guys, what's good? I'm Andre and today I want to walk you guys through NNDM, do a real interesting fundamental analysis on the stock. This is upon request, guys. One of you has reached out via comments and asked me to do a review on NNDM. Guys, if you ever need one of these, please drop it in the comment section below. If I can see folks rallying up and being really interested in hearing this about a certain stock, I might jump in and do an analysis. Before we jump in, I'm gonna plant 100 trees, guys, as soon as our very young channel reaches 500 subscribers. Help me out and we're gonna help the planet out as well. So let's jump in and have a look at NNDM and what the future might have in store for us. So guys, this is gonna be a bit of a freestyle approach to just trying to understand what on earth is going on with NNDM. Now, this is a stock that has lost 75% of its value in just the last year, and ever since it got listed, basically it's just been bleeding investor value left and right, from roughly $70-80 down to now $3.70. That's just extremely worrisome. But let's have a look at why. What is really the IP that's behind NNDM's hype all about, and see if we can hope for the better in the next year here, or in the next couple of years perhaps. Obviously, the fact that the stock has been tightly correlated with Cathie Wood and now her ETFs have just been battered left and right hasn't probably helped NNDM either from the point of view of just image capital. But guys, the truth is that it's really hard to see a very nourishing future for this company, and let's have a look at exactly why. So we're actually gonna start with the biggest bullish factor when we're looking at NNDM. No matter how you look at things and no matter how bearish or bullish you usually are about the stock market, you cannot ignore the fact that these guys are undervalued right now, and the truth of the fact is that they are roughly $2 per share undervalued. So they're currently, as we were saying, valued at roughly $3.72. But the thing is that they have cash in their books right now, so total cash and short-term investments at over $1.3 billion. So what that actually means, guys, is that if we divide $1.3 billion by the total float of shares, so what that means, guys, is that if we divide the total $1.3 billion to the 258 million shares that are out there up for grabs for NNDM, we will see that the intrinsic value of each of that share, just by looking at the pure cash amount that NNDM has on their books, is roughly $5.80. Now, with that in mind, guys, there's not a lot more, honestly, that we can look at NNDM and be extremely proud of. The one other thing that would be, though, would be the fact that they have virtually no debt. So right now they have $3.6 million in debt that, as you can imagine, if they sneeze, they're gonna just wash that away immediately. They probably are not interested in doing it since they have such a sturdy position to bounce off of. Now, that's the gravy, guys. That's the great thing. Now, if we look at valuations, we're not sitting a lot better either, and we can see that price to sales is just insane. It's nothing that anybody that truly wants to build a portfolio that's not of high beta stocks. Now, if we look at valuation, guys, we can see that price to sales is just through the roof. It's not one of those stocks that you would want to have in a portfolio that's full of deep value companies. Honestly, I don't really see how this could get any better unless the company starts really wheeling in some strong revenues, and that's honestly where the whole problem is starting from. Now, if we look at their books for the last few years here, ever since December 2016, they've been slowly ramping up revenues. And when I mean slowly, I mean slowly. Now, guys, I know that $3 million, $4 million, $7 million, they might be sort of respectable money, but maybe for your mom and pop shop, definitely not for a business that would be highly valued in the stock market. I mean, compare them with Apple, with Microsoft. There's nothing to look at, basically. This is where the biggest problem is. Now, they're gonna release earnings, I believe it's early March, and let's see what they report in terms of revenues. I do know that they signed a couple of bigger contracts, so hopefully they can make that $8 million mark that analysts expect of them, but honestly, it's gonna be a high fit if they do. And even if they do, in full honesty, now we're seeing seeing other stocks that are better at selling their services and wheeling in revenue than NNDM, like PLTR, like ChargePoint, and they're still getting battered and they're still getting real low valuations in today's stock market. So I just struggle to see, unless NNDM can start 10xing their revenues year over year or more, in all honesty, for a short while of time, I struggle to see how they're actually gonna be able to overcome the issues that they currently have. And from what it looks like, their revenue estimate for 2021 is $8.5 million, and then for end of 2022 they estimate being able to reach $30 million. Now, while the jump here is fairly impressive, I still feel like it's not enough. So my honest review of NNDM, guys, if you're not into NNDM, if you want some exposure to a more risky stock that still has a bit of security behind it because of all that cash that they have under their sheets, fantastic. Buy yourself a few shares, spend, I don't know, get 100 shares, spend $300. It's not gonna be the end of you. But if you expect to retire rich from NNDM, you better have quite a few years until retirement, because it's probably gonna take a while for NNDM to grow in value. What I would personally do is definitely not overexpose my portfolio to NNDM. I do hold a few shares. In all honesty, I hold a few shares from when NNDM was trading roughly at $7. So I'm not sitting very well with those either. But yeah, I'm expecting them to probably come back in the $5-6 per share range as soon as it makes sense for the market to stop being so risk off as it has been for the last few months, really, with some of these small cap stocks. But post that, I really struggle to see how they're gonna go from $6 to $20-30 per share unless they can really start showing those multiples for growth. It's just been really hard to justify spending your money on a stock like NNDM when there are so many greater opportunities out there in the markets. That covers it for today, guys. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If you disagree with my point of view, definitely let me know, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.